What's up, YouTube? Back with another video. This one's gonna be a cool one, actually. I just posted a video on doing the side markers on my car. Now it's time to do another lighting option. I'm actually gonna do tail lamps this time. So I thought that'd be pretty cool to do. I'll show you guys what I have in a sec, but the reason why I want to do it is because I figured let's just get all the cosmetics out the way first, you know, and then try to go into like performance parts if need be, just to make the vehicle look more pleasing to like myself and maybe even others, who knows. But I'll be pretty much installing new tail lamps today, being able to kind of show you guys how to do it really. And I actually had to look into it, but it is a pretty easy process. So that's what we'll do. We'll just pretty much go step by step, get this thing on and make this thing look good. Just a little update on the car too. I'm just under 15,000 miles, got another 600 and some change to go until I get to 15,000. What I think is cool is I got this car around 6,000 miles and the vehicle's been pretty good for me. Can't really complain much. Honestly, I think the biggest thing is just like getting used to every bump in the road. But usually bumps in the road, you know, you feel all of them, you know, when you have stiffer suspension. So obviously that was going to be a given. But other than that, man, this vehicle is such a beauty to drive, man. So let's just go to the back and I'm going to show y'all what the tail lamps look like and everything real quick. So real quick, with the vehicle off, I'll just show you guys what it looks like when you lock the car. And then I'll show you guys what it looks like when you unlock the car. Right, so that's pretty cool for the OEM ones. So as far as the lens for the OEM lights, you can see it has like the nice claw going around, and then of course the reverse light / signal light is going to be in the middle, which is pretty cool. Then you have like these little like aerodynamic canards, I guess you can say, kind of going down the side, which is a nice touch too. So this is what we're going to be working with today. I'm just take these off and then I'll show you guys the new ones in just a sec. And here we have a cool motor box. That's what they came in. Pretty simple. I mean, nothing too crazy. But once you open the box, it kind of gets a little more, you know, cool looking. Of course, these are going to be the instructions for it. You can kind of see what I'm going to be working with right now. It's basically just all black housing. So pretty much the whole thing's smoked, but the key difference is how the lights pop up inside of it. It's all gonna be pretty much LED and sequential, so that's what is gonna be the cool thing. It also has like this little side white light. You can pretty much choose for your liking if you want to pretty much have that or not. So I may go with just the red, but if it looks good enough, I'll probably try the white. So no biggie, but let's dive into it real quick and see what we got going on. This is what it currently looks like with the lights on and the car running. This is what we got going on. So pretty simple. I'll put the hazards on in a sec just to show you guys more. This is with the hazards on. I mean, you know, you pretty much see it's just both sides lit up in orange, amber orange. So it looks pretty nice. See, I got these tail lights just to kind of enhance the OEM look, but also give like a nice, more aggressive look with the smoke lenses instead, rather than just like the red lenses. But yeah, let's just dive into it right now. I'm gonna stop wasting you guys' time. I know you guys want to see it, so let's get to it. When you open the trunk here, I will say another thing, just to comment, is the trunk space is actually pretty good. I actually have a WeatherTech mat in here because sometimes I put some pretty rough stuff in the back, but man, for a small car, this is a good amount of space, I will say that. You come over here, you pretty much can get a screwdriver because of the type of bolt that it has and kind of just untwist it. Hand tighten is fine. You take this cover off, and if you come to the side, you can take this one off as well, just from popping it out on the outside. And then it'll just give you full access to the tail lamp. So I'm gonna just get to that right now. And just to show you guys how far I got. So, yep, it's actually gonna be 3 bolts. There's gonna be one on top. And then when you pop the outer cover off, which is right here, and it's pretty simple, you just kind of grab it at the top, and then you just slowly and carefully just kind of nudge it and then pop it out. It comes out pretty smoothly. And then underneath is going to be 2 more bolts that you just want to unscrew pretty much, and that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to pull out the OEM taillight and then pretty much accustom the new one to make sure that that'll fit in place. You got to be really careful, but after a little bit of tugging, all you have to do is kind of pull it straight outwards. You don't want to go up or down, you just want to go outwards, and you pretty much loosen it up to where you can pull it all straight out. Right, and it's clean off. Disconnected the connector for the harness in the back, and let me actually show you guys over here what it looks like. The tail light is clean off. Let's just do a side by side real quick to show you guys just the key differences of how the new one's gonna look. As you can tell, it's fully black. This thing looks so smooth. If you look very closely, you can see every single little insert in there. It's gonna be very bright. So let's put the new one on, at least mock it up and go from there. All right, this video just got a lot more interesting. In order for me to make the reverse lights work, I have to pop off this trim on my bumper, get behind the actual fourth brake light and reverse lights, plug the same module in that they put in the packaging for this one, put this through the bumper and connect it into the lower brake light down here. So with that being said, it's got a whole lot harder but a whole lot more fun, so let's get to work. All right, now I got the fourth brake light off, and let's see what we're working with. So if you come over here, this is the plug I now have to finesse. So if I get the plug from the harness of the new tail lights down here where this one is, I then plug this into the reverse brake light for the reverse brake lights to work on the new tail lamps. So do I agree with this design? Not necessarily, but I mean, it's just gonna have to work that way. So let's make it happen. Now I just realized instead of it plugging in the one tail lamp, it actually plugs into both. So what I'm actually have to do is start taking off the bumper, but luckily I don't have to take the whole thing off. As long as I can just slide the harness in between both right here so that it goes into both tail lamps, I should be okay. All right, so I got a little contraption here. I put a little bit of string onto the connectors for the fourth brake light. Reason being is because even if you loosen the bumper, you have barely any clearance. So what I actually did was I tied the other end to something heavy to make sure I had a clearance route to put the connector right over here. As long as I get it low enough to where I can put it in here, I'm fine. So that's what I'll be doing. Hoping that works, because it's like the only way. I try to look up any other way without having to take off the bumper, and I just had to think to just kind of do it, you know, my own way. So we'll see what happens. I got the string through where I want it to go. I'll just have to pull it on through, so we'll see what happens. I actually just have to show what it looks like on the top end just for you guys to know. All this is doing is just making sure you can have a path to get the actual connector through to the fourth brake light without really having to take the bumper off or kind of hitting anything else you don't want to mess up inside the bumper. So that's the way I'll be doing it. We'll see if it works. I'm just gonna put this up top. I'm thinking right here, it's just a good entry point, a little bit of space in there, and you can see where the string is. So we're gonna go straight down. Scratch that. I actually found out that right under here is much better because the bracket right here actually stops it from going down. So we're gonna avoid this and just go straight through under here, which actually allows us to still do what I was originally planning and put the extra cord through the top to plug into the other tail lamp. So that might actually work a lot better in my favor. So I'm gonna just pull it down, see what happens. If I get clearance, then like I said, we definitely got a YouTube video. Did you look at that, guys? It worked. Luckily that did, because I would have had no other option but to take off the bumper. So now I can officially tell you guys, you can do it that way. Honestly, all it takes is a little bit of string and something that you can tie it to that's heavy enough to go through the whole bumper to get you like a good lane to put the wire through. And another thing is there's actually a heat shield right here, so that none of the wires melt, and it actually clears it. It goes right behind it, along the outside of the bumper, technically the inside of the outside of the bumper, closest to the outside, I should say, to be able to keep the wire safe from any heat. So we should actually be okay. I'll be tucking, because this is going to be for the tail light on this side, so I'll be tucking in the rest to go to the tail light on this side. So I'm just gonna go down here, and I'll be able to like get a tool to kind of push it on in. I just kind of want it to be all mocked up when it goes across, so that it's easier to push it on through. It actually is very easy to clear on these sides, just not technically when it's right underneath them. You can see the wire still sticking out. So I'll take like a little screwdriver or something, kind of just push it on in there so it sits underneath the top of the bumper. And then all you just want to do is just make sure you get this underneath this here, down below, so that it just clears everything else on the top end of the bumper to right here on this side. And I'll keep poking it through so that there's not as much wire to deal with, because you want it to be as good as fitment as possible. All right, so this is the light. And then when we're gonna hit it in reverse, that's the reverse light. So the thing is, you have to plug into the fourth tail lamp and you have to make sure it's in the old harness. Once it's in the old harness, then it works. So we're all set now. All right, so now that I know that it works, now we're finally gonna put everything back together, because it's been like an hour and 30 minutes later in this whole process. I wish I had my tripod, so I'd be recording the whole thing for you guys, but luckily I just had to make this work before I started regretting it. So I'm gonna start putting it all together. I'll put the other taillight in, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. All right, so I moved the car inside the garage because the weather forecast is a little rainy today. I didn't want to risk it with no taillights on the car, so I moved inside. What I want to tell you guys is these lights specifically don't come with this. It's kind of like more of like a debris and like weathering blocker, so that it doesn't go into where the wiring is. So like if it's raining, it'll cause the rain to go down and out the pretty much center or even outside of the vehicle to have a little bit of flow. So it covers like right here and it goes on the tail light. But the aftermarket ones actually don't come with these, so you have to take them off of the OEM ones, and they have these screws here. Let's see if it'll focus. They have these screws here, and they're a pain to get off, but once you get them off, it's fairly simple to transfer them, so that's what I'll be doing. This is what it looks like without it. You can see they actually put screws in there to show like where it's supposed to go. So I'm actually gonna have to take this back out to put that on, and then I'll put it back on the car. So I got both tail lights on. This one just needs a little plastic pull, and I'll do that right now. Oh, got a little stuck up in there. Hold on. Squeeze it out. I'm squeezing it out. And we might have to take this one out. Oh, that was a fail. All right, both taillights are on. All I have to do is just put on the covers again, and we're all set. So you just want to pop it in right here. Bam. And now you have it. Let's close this trunk and turn this car on. So this is it in full effect right here. Good. I actually chose to do the white light. I just thought it would give it a little bit more pop. Realized that my side markers are actually hazing a little bit. It's not taking the Florida sun well. And with that white light being in the back, I don't know if I like the ambers anymore. And it's crazy how I said in my last video, it'd be like, oh, I love the ambers because it just gives the vehicle something else instead of just all these white lights. But now I gotta be that person to say, I kinda want it to match with white lights. So I might be doing the side markers again, who knows? But, you know, we'll just have to see. We'll try to figure that one out for sure. The reverse lights right here. The reverse lights is just gonna be all white all around, and my camera's not really catching it, but to the human eye it looks really good. Oh, and just so that I don't forget, these are gonna be your turning slash hazard lights. So they actually look pretty good. The orange is actually pretty bright. It's actually gonna be the brightest feature in my opinion. Everything else, like I said, it's all opinion based, but I think at night these are gonna look really good, and in the daytime it's just something to kind of ignore if you're really kind of picky about it. But other than that, man, that's it. So I think overall, and this is gonna be my honest opinion, I think they look great, especially when they're off. It just gives the vehicle a little bit more of like an aggressive look in the back, just everything in black. I am gonna have to do my fourth brake light now, so that might actually be my next video. But with my opinion on the side markers, I might just do both in the same video. We'll see. Really not trying to quote unquote rice it out, but cosmetics are always going to be the easiest things to do first. But I actually want to do an exhaust one day too, so if you guys, you know, want to see that, just put in the comments if you want to see that, or even if you have any other ideas for me to try out. You know, I'll take any type of feedback. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the first time that I get to actually do stuff with my own vehicle, my own property in a sense. Yeah, I'm just starting all this out, you know, just trying to get a feel for it, you know what I'm saying? So if that's really the case, if you guys enjoy the content, do like and subscribe. I want to try to do this for the long run, just to have a little bit of fun, but also kind of showcase how things look without people having to put on their own vehicles. They get to see something, you know, on YouTube or even online, wherever you guys may find this. So if that's the case, like I said, I do appreciate the support. Thank you guys for always watching, and with that being said, peace out.